Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is acelewy. Let's get into this real fast because this should be done in like 6 minutes. It's very simple when it comes to increasing your healing done and your crit heals and your healing taken. These are the most important stats you have to worry about. Right now, you can already see I'm basically sitting at 20% healing done, and this is without CP. So before my last video, I was going over, this is how you do it when you include CP. Without CP, for healing done anyway, I'm already sitting at 35% just for doing it. The heavy attack that gives you major mending, we have a resto staff. Then hit healthy offering, which gives out minor mending. So now I'm sitting at 43% healing done. And then I can go into Cyrodiil, get the 20% increase, and now I'm sitting at 63%. While then potentially running Bone's Shield, which if you morph into Bone Surge, it'll give out major Vitality, which is healing taken or healing received, which means that so you and your teammates still have that major vitality on them, making them heal. Well, they take 16% more healing. So say you're usually healing for a 10k, increase by 16%, that's a 1.6k. Now you're healing for 11k. So we're already sitting at over 50% healing done. We already discussed how you can get some, vitality in. There's not much else to talk about when it comes to healing, because how I did it for the blade is simply just looking at passives. Run the powered trait if you want to increase your healing. That's going to give you 9%. For my blade, if you have siphoning abilities on, this is for literally everybody, it gives you healing done per skill slotted on that bar. So on your back bar or your heal bar, have 3 slotted, that gives you another 9%. You sit at 18%. Inside your blue CP passive, you get like 1% or 2% increased healing done just for doing stuff. Like it's not a slottable, it's not like fighting finesse or anything, it's literally just free. So that got me to 19%. And then major minor vitality got me all the way up to 43. And then walking into Cyrodiil and being next to a keep, it will give you the additional 20%. That gets you to 63%. The Bone Surge is Bone Surge, it's giving you major vitality. However, it is a synergy that has to be procced, so you have to be in a group of people, or you have to be around somebody that can proc that synergy, and then you'll gain access to that. If you run a monster set like O's in the Infernal, that gives out minor vitality. So now you have major minor vitality with major minor mending. And in this case, you're already sitting at well over 60% healing done. If you wanted more healing done, because say you're a healer and you're really trying to stack it up high, you could run Soothing Tide alongside Swift Renewal. This will increase your AoE and your hot heals by 10% respectively, making any of your AoE hots heal for 20% more. This is really great because those are often the most important heals, because if you can make those heals really powerful, that means that when you have to use your burst heals, they don't have to be as powerful. Say you got 3 hots on you, and each of them tick whenever they non-crit. So it's like anything non-crit, it's 1.5 each. Right? Because we're about to get into the crit heal, so you can really see how this goes. And just turns. You can really get the perspective of how people are just surviving damn near anything. If it's all 1.5, 3k, so that's a 4.5k a second. Let's just say it heals every second, these 3 hots. That means that you're getting roughly 5k immediately, every second. And then on top of that, they're doing burst heals. That's really great. Now getting into crit heals, and this is where a lot of healers typically don't even stack any. They don't go into this territory ever because they see it as something that you can't do without making your entire build about it, when in reality it's the same thing when it comes to stacking crit damage. You don't have to make your entire build about it, but there's a lot of times that's what they do because they're not running all the passives associated with getting high crit damage. And in this case for crit heals, if you run the Shadow Mundus, you run Fighting Finesse, not only are you getting crit damage, but you're also getting crit heals. Say you run 3-piece medium, that gives you 6% crit healing. Fighting Finesse is 8, Shadow Mundus Stone is 11. You're now sitting at, 25% for your crit heals. That's already decent, you got a quarter, but everybody starts off at the base of 50, so you're actually sitting at 75% for your crit heals, meaning that any heals that you do and it crits, you increase by 75% immediately. So a 3/4 increase, boom. Now wait, there's more. Let's just say you're Arcanist in this point, so you can really understand how stupid crit heals can get without running any sets related to crit heals. You could be a Khajiit, get you another 12% for your crit heals, and that's going to sit you at like 37-ish, which is fine, you know, whatever. That's reasonable. You're at 87% without running any sets. And then in theory, you can still be a Nightblade and have everything else he was talking about, but let's just say you're not a Nightblade in this case, you're an Arcanist. So you lose out on the minor mending, however, you're getting another 12% crit healing, making you sit at 49%, or let's be honest, 50 fucking percent crit heals, while then stacking the base 50 that everybody has. And there's nothing in the game that nerfs crit heals. The only thing that you can do is nerf healing overall, which is like with the file and such. So you can be stacking 50-ish% healing done, have major minor vitality, which is 24% healing received, give it to your teammates, and then on top of that, whenever you decide you just want to crit, you just feel generous, you're going to increase that healing by 100% by just being an Arcanist. The only thing that you have to do at this point to make sure that the heals are going to be really strong and stable is, one, have roughly anywhere from 4k all the way up to 6k weapon damage. And the 6k part is if you're more of a DPS, because realistically, you're in a DPS territory if you have 6k, but say you're in a ball group, it's not unreasonable to have a healer get close to 5 or even get past 5 and get closer to 6k if they're running things to get their weapon damage up a little bit higher, you know. So with that being said, not only do you have that high weapon damage, but then because we have crits and we actually are realizing that is an important stat, you will then just have to have some crit chance. How much do you need? Realistically, 25 all the way up to about 40%. So again, you can stack more of that crit heals, you can stack more of that crit chance, but realistically just stack the crit heals, stack a little bit of the crit chance. How do you get that? Run Major Savagery and Major Prophecy, it will give it to you. That's all you need. You basically sit at a quarter and you're fine. There's nothing else to really worry about. This right here, in this particular example, I've gone over the Arcanist and I've gone over the Blade, and you can already see the potential in terms of staying alive and healing, because you can see in this video right here where I'm dueling somebody, he is doing a lot of damage. He's on the DK. He's on the traditional, oh, they're going to kill us in 3 shots, I can't survive the damage DK, and I'm on a bow blade. I'm literally on a bow blade with an ice staff. And I don't even have major mending, and I'm still able to stay alive. Like, yes, I do have a damage shield, but I also have skills healing me, because that's the most important part. Doesn't matter what is hitting me. I could have a damage shield for 20 million. If he hits me for 21 million, and I need to heal myself, guess what? Nothing I can do, because all I have is a damage shield. You have to actually be able to heal yourself. And in these cases, that's what most people are lacking. They don't know how to heal themselves out of damage. They don't know how to survive it. This right here, just in them 2 classes alone, I explained to you how you can easily stack up healing and make it where your heals are going to be amazing. You know, all you have to do at that point is stack proper heals, proper skills that really help you out with healing, you know, and do the job as effectively and easy as possible. As well is not just, you know, the blades or the arcanists that can have high healing. You know, DKs as well, they don't have anything that increases healing done or crit heals, but they actually have healing received built into the class. So whenever they have the Ardent Flame ability active, they get, I believe, 12% increased healing received. So this helps them out in terms of survival. You know, and I might be wrong in 12% healing received, but I do know they have healing received built into the class, so this helps them stay alive, most importantly. And then you go ahead and stack that with, you know, everything else we was talking about. So you can go ahead and have the major mending through the rest of stuff. You can go ahead and, you know, stack a little bit of CP giving you healing done. You can go ahead and run the powered staff, you know, stuff like that to really get that healing up, so that you're sitting at a really respectable spot, so that you don't have to put in too much effort when it comes to these heals. And then stack a little bit of the crit heals and you're fine. You're going to be healing a lot. But say you're not on DK, you want to do it on your Templar. Great. They have minor mending too. Run the rest of staff. You have to stand inside one of your skills in order to proc it, but it's fine. Just have the major resolve skill. Just stand inside of it. Give it to you. Okay, so you have minor mending, major mending. So you're doing the same thing that the blade was doing. The only thing is now you don't have built-in minor savagery, so your crit chance is going to be a little lower, which is fine. Doesn't really matter. So you're in a good spot. You can do the same type of, in terms of just raw healing, you can do the same type of raw healing on a Templar as you can do on a Blade. Okay, let's go to the Warden. They have healing done, but it's related to the green balance skill line, so it's only those skills that'll be increased. So keep that in mind. Like Polar Wind doesn't get increased. That's actually affected by your health, but most skills aren't affected by your health or anything like that. It's more affected by 3 major stats we was going over in this video on top of your weapon damage. So with that being said, there's not much else to really talk about. Like, yeah, Necros and the other class, Sorks, they have their own stuff, but the most important thing to really keep in mind at this point is all you have to do is really look at your passives, look at the build that you're trying to do. If you're DPS, I highly suggest just stacking a Resto Staff on the back bar. Now the Resto Staff, really ask yourself how you're going to increase this healing done, because you're going to get your weapon damage, right? If you watch my previous video, getting weapon damage is the easiest thing to do in this game. You don't need to have a lot, you just need to have a lot of these percentages, and as you stack up your crit damage, you're going to be getting your crit heals. And as you get your crit heals up, that makes it easier for you to focus on DPSing again. Because you only need one skill to crit and you're in a good spot. You just healed for a lot, depending on your class and what you're doing for it. So again, it's not terribly complicated how to do this stuff. It's been around for, I want to say, a very long time doing this. So again, like, I don't think there's not much else to talk about in this video, so I'm finna wrap it up. One thing I will say before you go, I appreciate everybody, checking out the video, really supporting the channel and all that. This is going to be turned into an actual series, so the next video I'm going to do is either sustain or survivability. Probably going to do sustain because survivability is very complicated. To put it into perspective, survivability encompasses your healing, your damage, your sustain, your max resources, and your resistances. So I think I'll probably save that to the end of this series where I'll be going over literally everything I listed. But with that being said, I'll at y'all later. Peace.